Captain Jake Martinez stood on the bridge of the UES Defender, staring at the stars through the main window. Space looked peaceful tonight, but he knew that was about to change. The red alert light flashed on his command panel, and his communication officer turned to face him with worried eyes. "Captain, we're getting an emergency signal from Earth Command," said Lieutenant Sam Wilson. His voice shook as he spoke. "Admiral Brooks wants to speak with you right away." Jake nodded and walked to the main screen. When Admiral Lisa Brooks appeared, her face looked tired and scared. Behind her, he could see other officers running around in panic. Something big was happening. "Jake, we have a serious problem," Admiral Brooks said. "The Galactic Council has sent us their final message. They're giving Earth 72 hours to surrender all our weapons and stay in our solar system forever. If we don't agree, they will destroy every human in the galaxy." Jake felt his heart beat faster. The Galactic Council was made up of 12 different alien races. For years, they had controlled most of the galaxy like kings ruling over their kingdom. Humans were new to space travel, and the aliens had never liked them very much. "How many ships do they have?" Jake asked, though he was afraid to hear the answer. "Over 3,000 warships," Admiral Brooks replied. "They're gathering at the edge of our solar system right now. Every major alien race is sending their best fleets." Jake looked around his bridge. His crew of 25 men and women had heard every word. They all looked scared, but they were trying to stay calm. These were good people who had joined the Earth Defense Force to protect their families back home. On Earth, Admiral Brooks called an emergency meeting with her top officers. Colonel Rick Stone, a tough man who had fought in 3 space battles, sat at the big table with a serious look on his face. Next to him was Dr. Amy Johnson, a smart woman who studied alien life forms and knew more about their enemies than anyone else on Earth. "Tell me what we know about their forces," Admiral Brooks said to Dr. Johnson. Dr. Johnson stood up and turned on a large screen that showed pictures of alien ships. "The Zephyrians are leading the attack. They look like big lizards and have the Ukasi, strongest plasma weapons in the galaxy. Their ships can burn through our armor like paper." She pointed to another picture. "The Nexari are crystal-based life forms. They can bend reality around their ships, making our weapons miss them completely. And the Thrikari are like giant insects. They don't use big ships, but send thousands of small fighters that attack like angry bees." Colonel Stone shook his head. "We have 400 ships total. That's not even close to enough to fight them." "There's something else," Dr. Johnson said quietly. "Our spies have been listening to their communications. This isn't really about the treaty we signed or the colonies we built. They're scared of us." Admiral Brooks raised an eyebrow. "Scared of us?" "Yes. Humans learn and adapt faster than any race they've ever seen. In just 50 years, we went from flying simple rockets to building faster-than-light ships. We've created technologies that some alien races took centuries to develop. They think if they don't stop us now, we'll become too powerful to control." Back in space, Captain Martinez received reports from human colonies throughout the galaxy. On New Boston, a planet where 50,000 humans lived, people were packing their belongings and trying to find places to hide. On Freedom Station, a mining operation near the edge of human space, workers were sending goodbye messages to their families on Earth. "Captain," said his weapons officer, Lieutenant Carol Davis, "I'm getting strange readings from the enemy fleet. They're not just positioning for attack. They're setting up some kind of energy barrier around our whole solar system." Jake studied the readings on his screen. The aliens weren't just planning to attack Earth. They were making sure no human could escape. This was going to be the end of everything unless they found a way to fight back. Lieutenant Wilson received another message from Earth. "Sir, Admiral Brooks is ordering all fleet captains to return to Earth immediately for a secret briefing." As the UES Defender turned toward home, Jake thought about his wife Linda and his 2 children waiting for him on Earth. He had promised them he would always come back safe. Now he wondered if he could keep that promise. On the alien command ship, High Commander Vex of the Zephyrians spoke to the other alien leaders through a holographic meeting. His long, scaly face showed no emotion as he talked. "The humans have had their warning," Vex said in his deep, cold voice. They chose to ignore our previous messages and continued building their illegal weapons. Now they must pay the price for their arrogance. Commander Zara of the Nexari, whose crystal body sparkled with different colors, agreed. My people have watched the humans spread across the galaxy like a disease. They take resources that don't belong to them and build colonies where they were never invited. Queen Clix of the Thrakari clicked her mandibles together, making a sound like breaking glass. The humans are young and stupid. They think they can challenge races that have ruled the stars for thousands of years. We will show them how wrong they are. But not all the alien leaders were completely sure about this plan. Commander Tor of the peaceful Eldani people looked worried. Are we certain this is the right choice? The humans have shown they can be reasonable. Perhaps we could find another way to deal with this problem. High Commander Vex's eyes glowed red with anger. The time for talking is over, Tor. The humans had their chance to obey our rules. Now they will learn what happens to those who refuse to listen to the Galactic Council. As Jake's ship flew toward Earth, he received one more message that made his blood run cold. It wasn't from Earth Command or any human source. It was from the aliens themselves, broadcast to every human ship and colony in the galaxy. The message was simple and terrifying. People of Earth, you have 68 hours remaining. Surrender your weapons and accept permanent isolation, or watch your species disappear from the universe forever. This is your final warning. There will be no negotiation and no mercy. Jake turned off the message and looked at his crew. These brave men and women were ready to fight impossible odds to protect their home, but were they ready to face the complete destruction of everything they loved? As Earth grew larger in the main window, Jake made a silent promise. Whatever Admiral Brooks had planned in that secret meeting, he would do his part. Humanity might be outnumbered and outgunned, but they weren't going to give up without the greatest fight in galactic history. Admiral Lisa Brooks led Captain Jake Martinez and the other fleet commanders through a hidden door in Earth Command headquarters. They walked down a long hallway that Jake had never seen before, even though he had been to the building many times. The walls were made of thick metal, and armed guards stood at every corner. "Where are we going?" asked Captain Nina Brown from the UES Liberty. She looked confused as they went deeper underground. "To see something we hoped we would never need to use," Admiral Brooks replied. Her voice was serious, and Jake could tell she was carrying a heavy secret. They stopped at a massive steel door that required 3 different security codes to open. Inside was a room filled with old computers and dusty files. An elderly man in a worn military uniform stood waiting for them. Jake recognized him immediately. "General Pete Walsh," Jake said with surprise. "Sir, I thought you retired 10 years ago." General Walsh smiled, but his eyes looked tired. "I did retire from the regular military, Captain, but I never stopped working on Operation Phoenix." Admiral Brooks activated a large screen that showed star maps and ship designs that Jake had never seen before. 30 years ago, when humans first made contact with the Galactic Council, it wasn't the peaceful meeting that history books tell you about. They attacked one of our early colony ships and killed 300 innocent people. The room went silent. Every captain and admiral in the room stared at the screen in shock. "The aliens sent us a message after that attack," General Walsh continued. "They told us that humans were not welcome in their galaxy. They said we could stay on Earth and never leave our solar system, or they would destroy us completely." "So what did we do?" asked Captain Danny Lee from the UES Courage. "We pretended to agree," Admiral Brooks said. "But secretly we started Operation Phoenix. We've been preparing for this war for 3 decades. General Walsh pressed a button, and the screen showed a hidden facility on the far side of the moon. "We built secret bases throughout the outer colonies. We developed new technologies that the aliens have never seen. And most importantly, we created something that will give us a fighting chance." The screen changed to show soldiers in special armor that seemed to glow with blue energy. These weren't normal human soldiers. They looked stronger, faster, and more alert than any person Jake had ever seen. "Meet the Terran Guards," General Walsh said proudly. "We took volunteers from our best soldiers and enhanced them using alien technology that we captured from crashed ships over the years. Dr. Susan Clark, a woman with gray hair and intelligent eyes, stepped forward. Jake had heard of her but never met her before. She was supposed to be the smartest person on Earth. Captain Martinez, Dr. Clark said, how much do you know about quantum physics? Jake felt embarrassed. Not much, ma'am. I'm a ship captain, not a scientist. Dr. Clark smiled kindly. That's okay. Let me explain it simply. We've learned how to control matter and energy in ways that should be impossible. We can make our ships invisible, create weapons that bend space itself, and even manipulate gravity. She showed them a video of a test where a human ship disappeared completely, then reappeared behind an asteroid. Our stealth technology doesn't just hide us from their sensors. It makes us exist in a slightly different dimension. Their weapons can't hit what isn't really there. Lieutenant Commander Ben Davis, who had been quiet until now, raised his hand. Ma'am, if we have all this amazing technology, why are we still worried about the alien fleet? Because we've never tested it in a real war, Admiral Brooks answered, honestly, and because we're still heavily outnumbered. Even with our advantages, we could lose everything if we make one mistake. General Walsh showed them another secret. Deep in the asteroid belt, hidden inside what looked like normal space rocks, were dozens of human ships waiting for orders. We've had strike teams in position for 5 years. They've been living in those hidden bases, practicing for this exact moment. Engineer Maya Torres, a young woman who looked too small to be in such an important meeting, stood up nervously. I need to show you our biggest surprise, she said. The screen displayed something that made every person in the room gasp. It was a ship so large that it looked like a small moon. Its hull was black and covered with weapons that none of them recognized. The UES Retribution, Maya said. We've been building it in secret for 15 years. It's 3 times bigger than the largest alien ship we've ever seen, and its main weapon can create artificial black holes. Captain Jake Martinez stared at the massive ship and felt both hope and fear. How many people does it take to operate something that big? Only 50, Dr. Clark answered. The ship is controlled by an artificial intelligence that we built using both human and alien technology. It can think faster than any biological brain and make decisions in microseconds. Admiral Brooks brought up another screen showing intelligence reports from across the galaxy. Captain Helen White has been running our spy network for 20 years. Helen, tell them what you've learned about our enemies. Captain White, a quiet woman with sharp eyes, stepped forward. The aliens have a serious weakness. They've been the strongest powers in the galaxy for so long that they've become lazy and predictable. They always use the same battle tactics and never expect their enemies to adapt or surprise them. She showed them recordings of alien battles from the past century. Watch how they fight. The Zephyrians always attack head-on with their plasma weapons. The Nexari stay in the back and use their shields to protect the fleet. The Thrakari send their small fighters first to test enemy defenses. They do the same thing every single time. But humans are different, General Walsh said with a smile. We change our tactics constantly. We learn from our mistakes and adapt faster than any other species in the galaxy. That's what scares them about us. Dr. Johnson, who had been studying alien biology for years, added more important information. I've been analyzing their communications for months. The different alien races don't actually like each other very much. They work together because they have to, but they don't trust each other. If we can break their communication systems, their alliance will fall apart. Admiral Brooks looked around the room at all the captains and admirals. So here's our real plan. We're not going to surrender, and we're not going to sit here and wait for them to attack us. We're going to hit them first when they least expect it. When? Asked Captain Martinez. In 18 hours, Admiral Brooks replied. We're going to make them think we're surrendering. When they move in to take control of our solar system, we'll spring our trap. General Walsh pressed one final button, and the screen showed the positions of all human forces throughout the galaxy. There were far more ships and bases than Jake had ever imagined. The aliens think they're about to destroy a weak young species, General Walsh said. Instead, they're about to discover that humans have been preparing for war since the day they first threatened us. Tomorrow, we find out if 30 years of secret planning was enough to save our species. As the meeting ended, Jake felt a mix of excitement and terror. Humanity had been playing a much deeper game than anyone knew, but would it be enough to survive against impossible odds? Admiral Lisa Brooks stood on the bridge of Earth Command, watching the countdown timer on the main screen. Only 6 hours remained until the alien deadline. Around her, officers moved quietly, preparing for the most dangerous plan in human history. "Open a channel to all alien fleets," Admiral Brooks ordered. Her communication officer nodded and pressed several buttons. Within seconds, the reptilian face of High Commander Vex appeared on the screen, along with the other alien leaders. "High Commander Vex," Admiral Brooks said in a defeated voice, "Earth is ready to surrender. We cannot fight your powerful fleets. We will give you all our weapons and stay in our solar system forever." High Commander Vex smiled, showing his sharp teeth. "A wise decision, human. You have learned that resistance is pointless against the Galactic Council. We need 12 hours to gather all our weapons and prepare the surrender documents," Admiral Brooks continued. "Please allow our ships to return to Earth so we can organize everything properly." Commander Zara of the Nixari spoke up, her crystal body flashing with suspicious colors. This could be a trick. Humans are known for their deception. But High Commander Vex waved his clawed hand dismissively. "Let them prepare their surrender. Where can they run? We have surrounded their entire solar system. Order all fleets to move into occupation formation." As the alien communication ended, Admiral Brooks smiled for the first time in days. The aliens had taken the bait perfectly. Far away in the asteroid belt, Commander Tony Garcia watched the alien fleets through his ship's special sensors. He had been hiding here with 50 other stealth ships for 3 weeks, waiting for this exact moment. The ships were so well hidden that even his own people couldn't see them without special equipment. "All units, this is Shadow Leader," Tony whispered into his radio. "The aliens are moving into attack formation just like we predicted. Prepare for Operation Surprise." Tony's ships had been equipped with the newest human technology. They could bend light around themselves, making them completely invisible. Their weapons were designed to disable enemy ships instead of destroying them, which would be important for the next part of the plan. On the alien command ship, High Commander Vex felt very pleased with himself. "The humans have finally learned their place in the galaxy," he told his officers. "Move all fleets into position around Earth. We will take control of their planet and make them our servants." The massive alien fleet began to change formation. Instead of staying in a defensive fighting pattern, they spread out to surround Earth like hunters closing in on trapped prey. This was exactly what the humans had hoped they would do. Dr. Amy Johnson sat in a secret control room deep underground, on Earth. In front of her were dozens of screens showing alien ships throughout the solar system. For months, human engineers had been placing tiny devices near Jupiter, Saturn, and other planets. The aliens had never noticed these small objects, floating in space. "Admiral Brooks," Dr. Johnson said into her headset, "all quantum disruptors are in position. When you give the order, I can cut off all communication between the different alien fleets." Meanwhile, Lieutenant Commander Ben Davis stood in a hidden chamber with 200 Terran Guard soldiers. These enhanced humans wore special armor that glowed with blue energy. They had been training for this mission for 5 years. "Listen up, guards," Ben said to his troops. "In 10 minutes, we're going to board the largest alien ships and take control of them. Remember your training. Move fast, stay together, and show these aliens what humans can do when we fight smart." The Terran guards looked calm and ready. Their enhanced bodies could move twice as fast as normal humans, and their improved brains could process information like advanced computers. But most importantly, they could think in ways that the aliens would never expect. Captain Jake Martinez received a coded message on his ship. It was time to begin the attack. He turned to his crew and saw the same determination in their eyes that he felt in his heart. "All right, people," Jake said. "Today we find out if our 30 years of preparation was worth it. Remember, we're not just fighting for Earth. We're fighting for the right of humans to exist in this galaxy." The attack began so quietly that the aliens didn't notice anything at first. Commander Tony Garcia's stealth ships appeared out of nowhere, firing special weapons that shut down alien communication systems instead of destroying the ships. Within minutes, The different alien fleets could no longer talk to each other. "Hi." Commander Vex stared at his communication panel in confusion. "What's happening? Why can't I contact the other fleets?" Before anyone could answer, Dr. Johnson activated the quantum disruptors. Suddenly, every alien ship in the solar system lost contact with their command centers. The carefully organized attack force became dozens of separate groups with no way to coordinate their actions. That's when the Terran Guard struck. Small human ships that had been hiding inside asteroids suddenly appeared next to the largest alien vessels. The enhanced soldiers used special equipment to cut through the alien ship hulls and board them before the aliens could react. Ben Davis led his team onto a massive Zephyrian battleship. The alien crew had never seen anything like the Terran Guards. The humans moved so fast that the aliens couldn't aim their weapons properly. Within 20 minutes, Ben's team had captured the ship's bridge and taken control of its weapon systems. The same thing happened on 12 other alien command ships. The Terran Guards didn't kill the alien crews. Instead, they used special stunning weapons that put the aliens to sleep, then locked them in their own cargo holds. High Commander Vex watched in horror as his own weapons turned against his fleet. "This is impossible. How are the humans controlling our ships?" Captain Helen White's spy network activated at the same moment. On 6 different alien homeworlds, human agents who had been pretending to be traders and diplomats for years suddenly began sabotaging alien military bases and communication centers. The aliens discovered that humans had not been sitting quietly on Earth for 30 years. They had been spreading throughout the galaxy, learning alien languages, studying alien technology, and preparing for this exact moment. Queen Clix of the Thrakari tried to rally her insect fighters, but without communication with the other fleets, her ships didn't know who to attack. Some Thrakari fighters began shooting at Zephyrian ships, thinking they were under attack by their own allies. Commander Zara of the Nexari attempted to use her reality-bending shields to protect what remained of the alien fleet, but Dr. Johnson had studied Nexari technology for years. She activated special human devices that created quantum interference, making the Nexari shields fail for the first time in centuries. As the battle continued, the aliens realized they had made a terrible mistake. They had expected to fight scared humans with simple weapons. Instead, they faced an enemy that had been preparing for war longer than some of their soldiers had been alive. Captain Martinez looked at the chaos on his screen and smiled. The first phase of humanity's plan had worked perfectly, but he knew the real test was still coming. Desperate aliens were far more dangerous than confident ones. High Commander Vex stared at the battle reports with growing panic. Half of his fleet was either captured or destroyed, and the humans were using alien weapons against their former owners. His careful plans were falling apart, and desperation filled his cold reptilian heart. "Activate the ancient protocol," Vex ordered his remaining officers. Several Zephyrians looked at him with fear in their eyes. "Sir, that weapon hasn't been used in over 1,000 years, said his second-in-command. "It will destroy everything in this solar system, including our own ships." "Then so be it," Vex replied with fury. "If we cannot rule these humans, then no one will. Send the activation codes to all remaining Council ships." On Earth, Dr. Amy Johnson detected massive energy readings coming from the alien fleet. Her face turned pale as she realized what the aliens were planning to do. "Admiral Brooks," she called out in panic. "They're charging planet-killer weapons. These aren't normal ship weapons. They're ancient devices that can destroy entire star systems." Admiral Brooks felt her heart stop for a moment. Everything had been going so well, but now the aliens were willing to destroy themselves just to eliminate humanity. "How long do we have?" she asked. 20 minutes until they can fire," Dr. Johnson replied. "Once those weapons activate, nothing in our solar system will survive." Captain Jake Martinez received the emergency message while his ship was still fighting smaller alien vessels. The news hit him like a physical blow. After all their planning and success, it might still end with the complete destruction of Earth. "All human ships, this is Admiral Brooks," came the broadcast. "Fall back to Earth immediately. We're activating the final defense." Jake had never heard of any final defense, but he trusted Admiral Brooks completely. As his ship raced toward Earth, he wondered what last secret humanity had been hiding. deep beneath Earth's surface. In a facility that went down nearly to the planet's core, Dr. Susan Clark stood before the most incredible machine ever built by human hands. It was so large that it stretched for miles in every direction, and it hummed with energy that made the air itself vibrate. 30 years we've worked on this, Dr. Clark said to her team of engineers. Today we find out if it actually works. The machine was connected to Earth's core through a network of quantum manipulation devices. For decades, human scientists had been slowly modifying the planet itself, turning Earth into something that had never existed before, a planet-sized weapon system. As the alien planet killers began to fire, streams of deadly energy raced toward Earth from 12 different directions. Each beam contained enough power to turn a world into space dust. The people on Earth's surface looked up at the sky and saw death coming for them. But Dr. Clark activated her machine at the exact moment. The alien weapons reached Earth's atmosphere. Instead of destroying the planet, something impossible happened. The deadly energy beams hit Earth and simply disappeared, absorbed by the planet itself like water soaking into a sponge. High Commander Vex watched in disbelief as his most powerful weapons had no effect on Earth at all. "What kind of technology is this?" he whispered. His answer came quickly. The energy that Earth had absorbed didn't just disappear. The planet began to glow with a soft blue light that grew brighter and brighter. Then, without warning, Earth released all that captured energy back at the alien fleets. But this wasn't just the same energy returned. Human scientists had learned how to amplify and redirect it. The beams that shot out from Earth were 10 times more powerful than what the aliens had fired. The redirected energy struck the alien ships with devastating force. Captain Tony Garcia, still hidden in his stealth ship, watched as entire sections of the alien fleet simply vanished in flashes of brilliant light. The aliens had tried to destroy Earth and ended up destroying themselves instead. "This is impossible," Commander Zara of the Nexari said as her crystal body flickered with panic. No species has ever learned to manipulate energy on this scale. But the surprises weren't over yet. As the alien fleets burned around them, Admiral Brooks sent a message that shocked everyone, including her own people. "Attention all alien vessels," she broadcast. "This is Admiral Brooks of Earth Defense Command. Stop fighting immediately, and we will send medical ships to help your wounded. We don't want to destroy you. We want to make peace." High Commander Vex couldn't believe what he was hearing. "They're offering to help us? After we tried to destroy their entire species?" Lieutenant Commander Ben Davis, still aboard the captured Zephyrian battleship, received orders that surprised him. Instead of using the alien ship's weapons to destroy more enemies, he was told to begin rescue operations for alien survivors. "You heard the Admiral," Ben told his Terran guards. "Start opening the cargo holds and treating the alien prisoners. And be gentle about it." The enhanced soldiers looked confused but followed orders. Soon, human medics were working alongside alien doctors to save lives on both sides of the battle. Captain Helen White's spy network received new instructions from Earth. Instead of continuing their sabotage operations on alien worlds, they were ordered to begin peace negotiations with local alien governments. Many alien species had never wanted to fight humans in the first place. They had been forced into the war by the Galactic Council's threats. Now that the Council's power was broken, these aliens were eager to make friends with the humans who had shown them mercy. On the bridge of his damaged ship, High Commander Vex made the hardest decision of his life. His fleet was defeated, his weapons were useless, and his enemies were offering him kindness instead of death. "All Zephyrian ships, cease fire," he ordered. "We surrender to the humans." One by one, the other alien commanders made the same choice. Queen Clix of the Thrakari, Commander Zara of the Nexari, and leaders from 8 other species all surrendered to Admiral Brooks. But Admiral Brooks had an even bigger surprise waiting for them. "We don't want your surrender," she told the assembled alien leaders during a peace conference held on a neutral space station. "We want your friendship. The galaxy is big enough for all of us to live together in peace." Captain Jake Martinez, now promoted to Admiral, stood beside her during the negotiations. He still couldn't believe how quickly everything had changed from total war to the possibility of peace. "What are you proposing?" asked High Commander Vex. who looked tired and defeated. A new kind of galactic government, Admiral Brooks explained. Not one where the strongest species rule over the weakest, but one where everyone works together as equals. We've seen what happens when fear and hate control the galaxy. Let's try something different. 6 months later, Admiral Jake Martinez walked through the halls of New Geneva Station, the headquarters of the United Galactic Alliance. Human children played in the gardens alongside young aliens from a dozen different species. Former enemies now worked side by side, exploring the galaxy's mysteries together. Dr. Susan Clark had been right about humanity's greatest strength. It wasn't their weapons or their technology. It was their ability to turn enemies into friends and create unity where there had been only hatred. Earth's final warning had become the galaxy's new beginning. The humans had faced annihilation and chosen to offer hope instead of revenge. Doing so, they had created something that no species had ever achieved before: true peace among the stars.